Live. I'm Rory Sauter. Joining me is Greg Merk, Matthew J., Blaine Pardoe, Rob Brown, Tony Rodriguez, and of course, the king of Brooklyn, Freddie Rubino. What's going on, gentlemen? I want to start with Freddie Rubino. We haven't heard from you in a while. Fill us in. Give us the rundown. Give us the 411, buddy.
Today, Donald Trump was indicted, which makes him an honorary Italian. He's been he's been said to be a criminal when he's not. He was investigated more times than anybody and always innocent. And now he is becoming persona non grata in the swamp, the pedophile cult of the Democratic Party. So we make him an honorary Italian today for being the most investigated and politically and socially abused in the United States.
Yeah, I hear you. What a day. I can't think of anything darker than what transpired with this indictment. Merk, go ahead.
Well, I said from the beginning, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I guess I see it now. Apparently he's indicted. I will say this on another note. I think that Ron DeSantis, for whatever, they say he's tied to the Bushes and all, he gave an outstanding statement today. I mean, he hit it out of the ballpark. He said he would not cooperate with any extradition things and all of that. So I really think that, Ron DeSantis hit it out of the park. And you know what? And I'm glad he did that. It's kind of reasonable service. Why wouldn't he say all of that? But he definitely came out with an outstanding press release on that. But, this is they going after Trump. These people are hell-bent on keeping him from ever occupying 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. What they don't realize is they're just making it more and more possible.
I just want to make a quick announcement. I did a 4.5-hour show today. I did my Rory Sauter in the news. We had a lot of great guests on. Facebook took off my show. It's not even on there anymore. They blocked it. So if people want to watch it, they can go on Twitter. It'll be up on TheNexGen USA later on, and it'll be in other places. But I just wanted to make that announcement. And this is like the 5th time they've blocked Rory Sauter in the news and my show's off of Facebook. So it's absolutely lunacy and craziness what Zuckerberg is doing with that algorithm.
Rob, a question and answer. I just ended it 10 minutes ago. When I mentioned Trump, all my screen went black for like a minute. Then I came back on and I tried to change the subject and I started talking about the Bible. The minute I said the Bible, I froze.
Jesus.
Facebook.
Blaine, I'm going to go to you.
I'm telling you, Russia, China, Venezuela, they got nothing on us.
You got that right.
Blaine, your thoughts?
This was predicted. I mean, Trump predicted it. He didn't get the date right, but he said this was coming. I think as long as he doesn't play the victim card on this and does it right, this will work to his advantage at some point. Short term, it's a huge win for the Democrats. But they have done one huge mistake with doing this. They've changed the rules of the game.
Yep.
So now they've said it's perfectly legitimate for prosecutors to go after former presidents.
Yep.
And they are going to regret that when Biden gets out of office.
As long as the Mittees are in control, because Republicans are feckless, pathetic, and weak. And they don't play the same rules. They crumble. They say, we're better than that. We can't do that. They don't play dirty, man. They better learn to play dirty.
It's not even playing dirty. It's playing by the new rules of the game.
The rules are dirty. Those are dirty rules, but they're rules. So play them. These are dirty rules. To take up a case that federal prosecutors all over have refused to take it up, that is even possibly beyond the statute of limitations, that's dirty rules. So we'll play those dirty rules.
Yeah, I say we have to, if you're going to get into this, you got to get into it. And it's the same thing with voting rules and everything else. You can't just roll the clock back and say, well, let's not have mail-in voting anymore. Mail-in voting's a thing. You got to go. If that's the new rule, then you got to play to win across the board. And that also means that politicians like Joe Biden can be targeted when they are out of office. So, if this is the game they want to play, it's going to get messier, and it actually makes the political diatribe get even worse, I think.
Possible that Trump has lured the Democratic Party into a scenario where now they can be destroyed because they're so dirty? Could it be that he's falling on the sword so that in the next 10 years, countless Obama, Biden, all of them get put and indicted and brought up on charges? Could it be that he is manipulating this whole thing?
I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna fall on any sword. Trump's a fighter, man. He's gonna fight. He's not a suicide. He's a fight till he wins.
If he gets in, he'll indict fucking Obama. He'll indict the Bidens. He'll indict Hillary Clinton. This could be him saying, "Go ahead, do it to me. I'll skate because I really didn't do anything. But now I got you to change the rules, and now you are all going to die from these new rules." I hope that's what it is.
And what people aren't talking about, and I think people need to look closer at this, is they're going to investigate him and try to charge him for the Dominion situation in Georgia, and the DOJ is looking at him for another crime. I don't know the specifics, but there are a few other things they're going to try to get him for. It's not just this thing in New York. So they're going to try to make as many things stick as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what could happen, the natural consequence is the MAGA Republicans, we are going to protest, and then the Democrat Party is going to use that. Listen, the reality of this whole thing is we are an extraordinarily polarized country. It's us versus them, and this whole let's come across the aisle and bipartisan, that's all horse manure. That's 20 years ago stuff. Now it's the best man wins. This is a fight to the death and a fight for the soul of the country. And may the best man win, because there is no reaching across the aisle now. This is a deep down dirty fight, and we're fighting for liberty in the 21st century, just like we did in 1787.
Matthew J., go ahead.
Okay, the story within the story I see, which was mentioned earlier by Greg, with Ron DeSantis going to deny any type of extradition moves. The Democrats will now paint themselves as the law and order party. What? DeSantis won't extradite Trump? I know Trump's going to go on his own, we think, and that's what he said he's going to do. Apparently next Tuesday is going to be the date. But won't it be ironic that the Democrats will say, what's going on with the Florida governor? Why isn't he abiding by the law and order, things we have in this country? So they're going to spin this unbelievably. And I think there's like 34 charges or something against Trump they're going to unveil. In this indictment, and they bumped it up to felony stuff, so he can't run. It's a sad day for America, no doubt.
And look at all the felonies that Alvin Bragg reduced to misdemeanors in New York for hardcore criminals, but for a small petty parking ticket crime, they give Trump a felony. I mean, it's atrocious. It's going to go nowhere. I mean, we know it's going to get thrown out. There's just a lot of noise right now, and the left is cheering this on. But it's only for the short term. It won't last.
They want, Rory. They want to incite some type of reaction out of the MAGA movement.
Yes, and they can go after Trump for that as well. Yes,
and I think it's going to be, unless NYPD has a sick out next Tuesday, things could get dicey. You don't want that to happen. But this whole Biden regime, that's what they're all about. Is the anti-MAGA hatred.
Well, you've already seen the gap widen between Trump and DeSantis. It's widened considerably.
30
it's going to
points.
continue to widen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Trump is in the polls right now. I mean, he's leading more than he's ever led in terms of the GOP primary. I mean, he's on top of, the highest he can be.
Fundraising too.
Yes. Yep. And you know what's funny? Remember we talked about yesterday on the show how they announced that they're not going to announce any of the indictment stuff with New York till next month. And then today they come out and when we're least expecting it, they deliver this bombshell.
I think they realized that they didn't have enough, and then all of a sudden something popped. Oh, they could get it. They could get these 12 jurors, and they only need a majority of them. They could get them to say, there's all you have to have is, it's a very low bar to climb. Just we have enough to indict. So it was very low, and I think they saw it and seized the opportunity. I don't think they expected it. I think they were kind of surprised that they could get the indictment, and they ran after it because I don't think they really planned on it. I think they believe that, we don't have enough. We're going to have to work this case more. But I think they saw the opportunity and they came out and did it. I don't think they're being like tactical. Oh, we're gonna throw them off the trail. We're going to say next month, and then boom, we're going to zap them with it. I just think that they knew they didn't have much, but they saw a window of opportunity.
It's true. Rob, I want to go to you. We haven't heard from you. Go ahead.
Hey, no worries. I just two things that I just wanted to say is one, I don't know why it sucks that three things. Sorry. This is a horrible, horrible day for America that we've stooped to this level.
Yep.
As we've all said over and over again. But the second thing is we all should be celebrating because Donald Trump got reelected today.
Yes.
I mean, 2 years before it even happened, he was reelected today. I mean, that's all they did is fundraising with him holding the the NYPD number sitting up here in his mugshot. That's going to be his. Let's run, And then the last thing I just have to say is I know we're in a fight. And we have been in a fight for our country and for the world. But here's the thing, guys: is it's all written. We already know who wins.
Amen.
Yeah, that's very true. Can you imagine though if Donald Trump is reelected? Can you imagine what's going to happen to this country?
The cities will burn to the ground if Donald Trump is elected. Soros will pour in billions of dollars and bus people in to every city to loot and to burn, and that will be. Listen, last time it happened, CNN, Cuomo, the asshole Cuomo brother, goes on CNN and says, "Who says that demonstrations should be nonviolent? Who says?" Okay, this is what they do. This is the violent fueled rhetoric that they fuel, and I hope it did propel him into the White House because there's so much work to be done. And I think if you ever thought, I always would go back and forth with people that I argue that Donald Trump is the greatest American of all time. I understand there was people like George Washington, but he had a whole militia behind him. He had all of that behind him. This guy is taking on the worst of the worst, and he's doing it on his own, and he is fearless. And I'm just going to stand by it that this, and when all the smoke clears, greatest American of the last 200 years.
What does Tony Rodriguez think about this? You're going to be running for Congress here in California, trying to win Adam Schiff's old seat.
It's kind of ironic that they pulled what they pulled, I think.
Yeah.
But I think what they're hoping for is that the MAGA movement does a little protesting, and they're going to egg it on to make it violent when it's not supposed to be violent, kind of like January the 6th.
Right.
And then they can blame Trump and the Republican Party. That's what I think the ultimate goal is. They know they're not going to get Trump, but they're hoping that they get his people that are behind them to do something out of the ordinary so they can say, you see, all bad. Orange man bad, all his people are bad. That's what I think they're going to do.
Yeah, they're throwing everything at the wall and see what sticks.
And what kind of message does this send to future administrations? I mean, I feel
it opens the door.
I feel that there'll be presidents in the future that weaponize this sort of thing and use it to their advantage, and it really sets a bad precedent. It sets a bad example for the years to come, and Not a good day in history. I mean, anybody cheering this on, regardless of who you're cheering for politically, there's something really wrong with you.
Yeah, you're an
And,
idiot.
you know,
You're
it's
an idiot if you think that. You're an idiot.
yeah,
People are dumb.
yeah.
And it's
People are
always,
just freaking
Look at all the
dumb.
shit Hillary did. Look at all the stuff Hillary did. You know what I
Hillary,
mean? He got away with.
Hillary.
the
Blaine,
rules have changed already. Today, the rules have changed. We can't go back in time. Today, the rules have changed.
Let's hope. I hope they have. But Trump has not just fought the Democrats. He's fought the buffoons, the limp-wristed, light-loafered lowlifes in his own party.
Yep, you're right about that, Greg.
the double standard is unbelievable. Blaine, I know you have some thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, no, I agree with what everybody said here. I think this is not a good day to rejoice, no matter what. And I don't know what the long-term implications are. I don't know if he's going to push for a speedy trial, which would make a lot of sense. Like, hey, let's bring it on and get it over with. I find it amazing that there's a federal investigation into Trump's handling of documents in Mar-a-Lago, but there's no investigation of Biden's mishandling of documents, Pence's mishandling of documents, etc. It really, there's no way anybody looks at this and says that this isn't a targeted attack. And it's really about the weaponization of the deep state. And we've seen it time and time again. We saw it with the Twitter files this last week. Matt Taibbi, the IRS showed up at his door while he was testifying in Congress. My accountant couldn't get the IRS on the phone for hours at a time. But the IRS shows up at his door. That's not a convenience call. That is an attempt to intimidate and bully. We've seen this out of the deep state with Donald Trump, and now we're seeing it more and more on regular, everyday Americans. Even people like Matt Taibbi, who is a leftist journalist, they are going after them, and they are willing to use every aspect of the federal government to go after people. And it's dangerous. It's just a dangerous time.
It is. It's extremely. Go ahead.
But you know what? This is not a new thing. This is why I say I hope so. I hope that we'll learn that the rules have changed, because it was Janet Reno.
What happened to Greg? We lose Greg. Greg's frozen.
They whacked them.
The deep state strikes again.
Yeah,
Matthew,
but
Matthew, you want to say something?
Sorry.
You want to say something, Matthew?
Just the thing that may happen next Tuesday. Are they going to get their perp walk? Are they going to get their mud shot? And if that does transpire, Rory, the first fucking tweet from President Trump should be his mug shot.
It will be.
Yeah.
He'll use this. He'll be using this for the next 2 years.
Yep.
He'll fundraise on that like nobody's ever fundraised before. They used to, talk about Obama raised $1 billion. I said, no, just wait. Trump will raise $2 billion just on that mugshot alone.
By the way, with classified documents, Obama refused to turn over any classified documents that he has, and he refused to comply with anyone coming in to search his place.
Yeah, they stonewalled on everything. I mean, it was 8 years under Obama. It was atrocious. Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, Janet Reno. I mean, this is the Democrat way. That's why. I mean, and each time the Republicans came back in power, we didn't play any of it. And don't forget, is Donald Trump going to have the kind of attorney general? Because Bob Barr wasn't going to do it. What kind of attorney? The idea that we're going to be able to replicate what the Democrats have been doing for decades, I almost think it's naive or wishful thinking. Because, the president and the attorney general under Democrat leaderships, they work lock, stock. They're like joined at the hip, as it should not be. But under Democrats, they always have been. I mean, go back to the 60s with JFK and RFK. Come on. They've been doing this for years, but Republicans never do it.
And
let's not forget, too, that, the left has always resorted, when they can't get their way legally, they go to violence. So let's remember, there hasn't been, other than quote unquote January 6th, which we all know what that was. The left went after, a Bernie Sanders supporter shot a congressman on a baseball field. They're the ones that were targeting and behind an assassination attempt on a Supreme Court justice. let's not forget that they will resort to raw violence if they don't get their way. And
How many
I
people
fear
died in
for
the
Donald
BLM
Trump. I
protests?
really do, because they're running out of, if this doesn't stick, which we all think it's not going to, I believe, I fear for him, because I think that they will stoop to killing him. They're willing to martyr him if they can't get their way, because they're running out of things to do. And the left always goes back to violence.
But Blaine, I think he's too protected. I don't think they would have a chance in today's society.
I hope you're right.
Not like
I
Kennedy
pray
days.
that you're right, Rory. But I'm, there's a lot of crazy people out there, and we've seen that just this week with this shooting in Nashville. There's a lot of crazy people that whip themselves up into doing stuff that is downright stupid, and I wouldn't put it past anybody to go after Donald Trump and try to kill him at this point.
Boy, stopped as soon as they found out the transgender with an AR-15.
Right. And here it's, this is a great time to indict Trump, to distract from everything else that's going on, with the banks collapsing, with the war going on. And the FBI took the manifesto from the Nashville shooter, and they're not going to release it. So, I mean, they said eventually, but who knows when that will be. So, I mean, with everything going on, this is the perfect time to really take the focus off everything else and put it on this Trump indictment. It's absolutely, it's crazy.
And by the way, when I heard it was a woman pretending to be a man, I assumed it was you, Rory, but I apologize for that.
You're too funny. No, but listen, so Donald Trump was raided, indicted, Roger Stone raided, arrested, Steve Bannon arrested, Peter Navarro arrested, Rudy Giuliani's the only one that's been raided but not arrested. Do you think he's going to be arrested next?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Giuliani.
Rudy.
Oh,
He's the only one that hasn't really been arrested or indicted yet out of all of the crew.
yeah, but they don't seem to really. It doesn't seem like the crew. That's like they're getting to the crew to get to Trump. Now they got Trump. I don't know that they want to really bother with those people. I mean, they got.
Well,
they got the
Giuliani had a
prize.
lot to do with Trump, though. Him and Trump are like very close. I mean, they work very closely together.
Yeah, no doubt. But you mean they were going after these people to get to Trump? I mean, they're trying to flip them. They're trying to flip Stone. They're trying to flip Michael Flynn. I mean, everything was trying to flip them to get to the prize, and the prize was Donald Trump. He's the head of the snake to them, and they got the head of the snake. So I don't know that they'll pursue these other things.
Maybe Trump family members. Weren't they at one time going after Trump family members? John Jr.?
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, Trump president, Giuliani attorney general. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm hard thinking about that.
That would work. I mean, I think that Giuliani would be the kind of AG that would go after these rotten people.
Or Judge Janine. Judge Janine.
Yeah, Judge Janine. She'd be awesome.
She would be great. I mean, she wants vengeance on a lot of people. She'd be great.
How about Emily Campagno? She's a lawyer. She'd be great.
I mean, there's a lot of different people that would be
Best looking
fantastic.
DA we've ever had.
Hey guys, I got to peel out here, but it's been
Okay,
good.
Blaine, tell everybody where they
Talk
can
on
get involved.
Obviously, you can find me on NexGen USA Network, and you can find me on all the social media. And the best place to get a hold of me is go on Amazon.com and type in my name, and you'll find all my books.
All right, Blaine.
It's the best way to get to know me.
Perfect, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. God bless, man.
Bye.
All right, take care. So, yeah, guys. So, I mean, it's going to get very interesting. This is going to get very, very interesting.
You know what I think we should be looking at too. We saw how effective Elon and Tucker were. You heard that the shaman got released to a halfway house today. Now that is a direct result of the J6 footage being released by Tucker, and Elon kept mentioning in his tweets, including one of my tweets. He mentioned it in. So the more pressure, the more you can illuminate things like this, the better it is. So what I'm suggesting is that Elon start looking at the big picture and saying, okay, Trump is being, wrongly, he's being harassed, just like the shaman was. So if somebody that high profile like Elon, and by the way, Elon just surpassed Obama in Twitter numbers. So Elon has the most numbers, and that's a great thing. But I think if Elon and Trump join forces on Twitter and get the message out and start getting a little control on the narrative, this could be a good thing for Trump and the MAGA movement.
And guys, let's not forget that last year, Hillary Clinton quietly settled a campaign finance violation over reporting the Steele dossier funding as legal services. She paid a fine and was never arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
Convicted.
Yeah.
Admitted, convicted, guilty, nothing.
That fucking smelly ass cunt. Fucking bitch. Can't stand her, dude.
Just like Kamala Harris.
Carpet munching fucking sicko. God, she's just a demon. She's a demon.
I like the way they say Trump is a election denier, and this fucking nut, whose husband's a rapist, is on a book tour for 6 years saying that the election was rigged and stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know if Slick Willie's a rapist. I think there's a lot. I don't think you can rape the willing. I think there's a lot of women that cried about that after they. I mean, what women wouldn't sleep with the president of the United States? Come on. I mean, he may be a flawed person. He may have his issues. Do I think he raped anybody? No, I don't think he ever had to. Pussy was running to him. He had more pussy than JFK, and JFK was like the ultimate pussy magnet when he was in the White House. I think Bill Clinton has everybody beat in that White House.
Use power and authority to threaten women and to fucking.
That's what they say, but I mean, that's what they. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I'm not defending Bill Clinton, but I also know what women do. After the fact, to try to get, a couple bucks or to get their name in the paper, get some media attention.
With a woman, and you'll know what I mean.
No, but listen, I do think though with the whole, you think with Clinton, you actually think that he actually raped women?
No, Rory, do you believe
I don't
Paul
think he
Jones?
raped anybody. I don't think Clinton raped anybody.
Paul Jones got $850,000.
Yeah, I think sexual harassment is different. I think sexual harassment is different than rape.
Yeah.
He put his hand down her pants, didn't he?
I don't know what.
That's a picture of his wiener. That's why they settled out, because she knew what Big Willie apparently pulled out his wiener. And she
$800 grand isn't, hey baby, you look nice tonight. $800 is my dick was out and you didn't want it.
And that was 30 years ago when $800 meant something.
I just know what it's like to be falsely accused. I've been falsely accused before. There's been a lot of people that have been falsely accused.
I apologize for that, Rory.
No, I'm just saying that it happens and that there's always more to the story. I mean, I've heard when people have
benefited the doubt. That's nice.
What
but
happened?
$800 means you fucking did something really sucky.
Well, I mean, what about Trump though? I mean, giving $300,000 because he fucked somebody. I mean, you can give money because you fuck someone.
She denied it.
She denied it.
She denied it.
Who knows anymore? What does Greg Merk think about all this?
I think all that stuff is just it's just noise. All the sexual stuff is just noise. I mean, look, when Democrats do it, they cover it up. When Republicans do it, they make a big issue out of it and want to throw the guy in jail. And you know what? I'm looking at just the crime itself and the Federal Election Commission. I mean, there are so many people right now. I mean, I could pull them right out of Congress and tell you. I mean, starting with George Santos, that have done far
jack
worse.
of all trades, the guy can do anything. He's been on this show a couple times. I love George Santos.
Yeah, but I'm talking about his FEC violations.
God bless George, the anomaly, the one-of-a-kind king of New York, Santos, baby.
Show us your George Santos.
George right there.
The point is he's got huge holes in his financials, his campaign financials.
He's got huge holes in his where?
His financials from falsifying his treasurer's signature, the treasurer that he put on there said, "I didn't do that."
I thought you were talking about his butthole from all the pounding.
And he might be a pot smoker.
He doesn't smoke pot. He doesn't like pot.
How do you know, Rory?
He smokes something else.
What does he smoke, Greg?
Rory saw him down at the dispensary, and
You did?
no,
Was he visiting
you saw
Arizona?
him down at the dispensary, and he told him he wasn't there to smoke anything.
Okay, gotcha. So tell me about these economic holes, Greg, that George Santos.
Well, it's like a $500,000 loan, or it was I mean, there's a huge question mark as to where this $500,000 came from. There's a report filed from a treasurer that did not file that he falsified or basically signed it for me. You don't really sign it by hand signature when you do these. You file them online. Just a program, FEC program, and you type the guy's name in your treasurer's drop-down box and just do. So he clearly filed that without the treasurer's and did the drop-down, hit the treasurer's name without the treasurer's authorization. Apparently, he wasn't even handling his campaign funds at that time. My point is not to pick on George Santos, but that it is a massive, massive violation compared to Trump's. I mean, when you compare the two, one's Mount Everest and one's a little molehill in your backyard.
This is the same attorney general that charged a bodega owner with murder, with murder. Because somebody took a knife, stabbed him. He picked up a knife, stabbed him back during a robbery, ended up killing the guy. He arrested him and charged him with murder. And only after, all the bodega owners in New York got together and processed it, he goes, okay, we'll let him go. This is the kind of piece of this attorney general is.
Yeah.
Now,
He's rotten. He's rotten to the core.
Oh,
Rotten.
yeah.
I have a question. Does anybody have any idea who the final witness was today that got the jury to indict Trump? Because there was another witness today. They spent about 30 minutes in there.
They probably found their secret weapon who is gonna
Did
go
they
along
bring
with their
Cohen back in?
agenda.
He's so credible.
Nothing. This is the biggest fucking news story in the last 10 years. Who knows? Maybe in the history of this country. And the fucking attorney general doesn't come out with a news conference and at least fucking tell the world what's
Through
going on.
that little Jewish weasel, Garland.
Nobody. It's just, this is what happened. That's it. It's like fucking Lincoln getting assassinated and no one's talking about it until maybe next week. What the fuck? This guy isn't obligated to let the people know at least what the charges are?
Yeah. Now, Rory, breaking news on that. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office wanted Donald Trump to surrender today. And then supposedly this article, the Trump team said, no, we're not coming in. Or sorry, tomorrow. They wanted him to surrender tomorrow morning. And the Trump team said no, according to this article. So it will be next week, but they wanted him tomorrow.
Wow. Oh, man, I didn't know about the DeSantis thing. I fucking love DeSantis so much.
Go suck his dick then, you faggot.
I'm not from fucking Palm Springs.
Fucking go take it. Go let him give it to you in the ass, man.
Oh,
yeah,
He goes both ways, just like you bisexual freak.
You queer. I'm not moving to
Be
Palm
nice.
Springs no matter what you say.
Be nice.
I'll tell you what, Freddie.
No drinking, no
There's a reason
smoking.
why I support Trump. I love DeSantis. Basically flip a coin. But there's always the metaphor I use: aircraft carrier versus cruiser destroyer. Trump's the proven entity. And we have the opportunity to get 4 more years of Trump. Then we can get 8 years of DeSantis. But why just take 8 when we could get 12? And obviously, I know that's pure speculation into the future. But if I have the opportunity to get 12 years of, and the last chance to ever get 4 more years of Trump, and it could be followed by 8 years of a DeSantis, that's the breaker for me. That's what puts me and keeps me in the Trump camp.
Merk, let me give you a scenario.
No, hold on. Go ahead, Freddie, and then I'm going to Tony. Go ahead. Give the
Merk,
fucking
one scenario.
Let's
Let's say they want Trump and they say, you have to be here, whatever, in 3 days. And he says, I'm not leaving fucking Mar-a-Lago. And DeSantis says, I'm not extraditing him. What happens?
Well, then
That's a
Trump
good
has to
question.
stay in Florida until,
Right.
for the rest of his life. So, I mean, I don't really see that happening. I think that Trump is waiting. I mean, if Trump's going to go do a rally in Arizona, the marshals will be there and they'll get him or whomever. So, he can't leave the state of Florida or go anywhere, and that's not going to happen. But
Florida's a nice place to stay in, Greg. Maybe he doesn't want to leave Florida.
yeah, well, he's not Joe Biden. He's not going to campaign from his
Yeah.
basement at the Mar-a-Lago. And besides, I don't think they have basements down in South Florida.
No, we don't. No.
Tony, I know you got to take off. I'll give you your final thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, Trump's a fighter. So, like Greg said, Trump's not going to stay in Florida. He's going to fight, and he's going to use this to his advantage. And I think the left has made a serious mistake, not just because they set a precedent, but because they're pissing off Trump now, and he's going to go after them. And the Republican Party is going to stand behind him. Most of the powerful ones are. They're going to continue the fight. So they're doing it because they want to ruin Trump, and I think all they're doing is giving Trump more credibility to the rest of the nation. So
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to his fight in court.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump has a big dick?
I don't know. We can ask what's her name? What's his wife's name?
Melania?
Yeah, we can ask Melania because she's kind of tiny, so she would know.
Yeah.
Stormy Daniels.
Well, does anybody think he takes a blue pill to like get it up to have a nice time with her? To have a
80 years old, I'm sure he does.
You know what?
Sometimes don't though at that age. But what do you think, Tony?
Even if you have to take it at 80, take the goddamn pill and do your thing.
My wife looked like Melania. I would too.
Greg,
your
do you
wife
think
looks
they're
like
getting
Melania,
on,
you
Greg?
wouldn't need it.
Do you think it's an ongoing occurrence?
Who are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Greg. Greg, you said the other night you don't think they are.
Well, I think that if you have a wife that looks like Melania, you don't need a blue pill.
There you go.
No, but you said you don't think they're having sex, Greg.
Because I think they just kind of live separate lives. That's what I think.
Like different bedrooms, like sleep in different bedrooms.
Like different wings.
Whoa, you think it's that? You actually think it's like that, Greg?
I don't. Yeah, I think it's like that. I mean, there comes a point when you've got a relationship and you got a kid. I don't know that intimacy is the center of their relationship.
Rory, did you
And
see
not that that's
Trump-
doesn't mean it's a failed marriage or it's a terrible thing. I just don't think it's a part. It's their thing. I don't think intimacy is an everyday occurrence in their home, and that doesn't make it a failed marriage or a terrible thing. I mean, come on, you honestly think that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton ever slept together like the day after Chelsea
she's a
was
lesbian. Their
conceived?
marriage is for political power and it's a business arrangement.
And he's a
Hillary and Bill?
pedophile.
And
Well,
she's kind of
yeah,
ugly.
yeah,
And
he's
she's
been
kind of
at-
ugly.
yeah.
And she's an ugly woman.
Yeah.
He's an ugly
Rory,
cunt.
did you see Trump's new assistant? Did you see Trump's new assistant? I did. In a photo. She's 24 years old. She was following around in his golf cart. She does all his press releases now. So, you know what I mean? I'm sure Melania, any woman would not be happy with some hot 24-year-old following your husband around who's on the payroll. But that's how Trump rolls.
Are you trying to suggest that she's like that girl that works for Logan Roy?
What if she's doing the same thing? What if she's banging some young dude? She could be getting some side dick that Donald doesn't know about.
Look, you like this.
Just like Donald gets side pussy. He has been for years. He's been known for that.
He's a fucking billionaire playboy.
Of course, it comes with the
Of course he
lifestyle.
was.
It's part of the game. It's part of the business.
I love all these people. Oh, he was having an affair. Oh, he was banging a porn
Who
star.
cares?
He's a fucking billionaire
Exactly.
playboy.
Exactly.
We knew it. We elected a billionaire playboy because we didn't give a fuck who he's banging. I want you to drain the fucking swamp.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Tony, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on TheNexGenUSA.com. And on social media, it's easy to find me, Tony Rodriguez for the Republic. It's the same name for all of them.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk.
Guys,
to you
have a good night.
We'll talk to you
All
soon.
right, Tony.
Yeah.
Good night. He wouldn't get banged in the ass from DeSantis.
You would though.
Hey,
Right?
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20. Hey. But no, guys, it's interesting what's going on right now. It's an interesting world.
Rory, just think about stuff like, you look at the big picture. We're obviously involved in Ukraine in a big way. You have the Russians that don't want to participate anymore in these nuclear missile talks and reduction talks and what have you. And now, let's face it, man, New York City is going to be the focal point of where everything's going to be happening, or you're going to be hearing press releases, all that shit. So
New York City. It's New York City.
Hey, watch it. I'm saving up to be Jewish.
All right, go ahead.
Rory, I may be up there next week for the TheNexGen too. I may be up there.
Nice, man. That
should be great, but I could do it.
That sounds. But continue on with your story about that city.
Well, the issues. There's such big things happening when you think about it with the United States, and as we approach a potential world war or whatnot, and just to have this bullshit, where the Federal Election Commission said there's nothing here, and this guy Bragg, he's going to be in the fucking history books now. This loser, and he's a fucking racist, is going to be in the history books because he decided to do this. And George Soros will bankroll this asshole for a governor's race or whatever else he needs, because that's the way they roll.
Yeah.
We need to send that porch monkey back to the jungle. We need to send that porch monkey back to the jungle, Alvin Bragg.
That's terrible. That's terrible to say.
I'm sick of this shit, man.
Let me tell you another thing. We are fucking sending so many weapons. We left so much weaponry in Afghanistan. We are sending so much. It's not just money. We're sending weapons to the Ukraine by the fucking by the armada. We're sending armadas. We're sending fucking airlifts of. There's only a certain amount of fucking bullets you could make in this country. There's only a certain amount of tanks and guns you could make. So when China invades Taiwan, how the fuck are we going to outfit Taiwan? We can't. We can't make enough to outfit all of the Ukraine, all of the United States, all of fucking South Korea, and then them. There's just so much shit you could fucking make. So we're stretched thin.
The problem, Freddie, and what I wanted to bring up is just that.
Freddie got fingered. Freddie got fingered. Freddie got fingered by his dad. By his dad.
Oh,
by his dad. Shit.
National Enquirer shit, Rory.
Great fucking movie, man. Tom Green, man.
Rory fantasizes about me. I get texts early in the morning.
Fingered, man.
Merk, what were you saying, Merk?
I was saying that.
Go ahead.
I was saying that you can supply all the weapons you want, that these countries want, if they're buying them. You see, those are the operative words, if they're buying them. Right now, Taiwan is waiting. They have purchased weapons. They're waiting for delivery. And I've said all along, if Ukraine wants weapons, give them all they want for sale. You can't just give. They've gotten $150 billion. The world has given them. I said, you want to arm Ukraine? Have at it. Arm them to the teeth. But they got to pay for it. This freebie, this free ride stuff, that doesn't play. Taiwan has been buying, and they're waiting. And yet here Ukraine is getting handouts and freebies from all over the world. It's a disgrace. I don't have a problem with arming Ukraine, but not for free. You got to buy it.
That sodomite Zelensky has to pay a big fucking price.
Don't start bad-mouthing sodomites now. I'll leave. But let me just say, a wise man once said, the business of America is business. So let's fucking sell the shit out of it, right? So you're right. You're 100% right.
They gotta pay for it. No freebies. I mean, because here's the thing: Taiwan is waiting. China is a serious threat to China to Taiwan, and they will invade as soon as they're de-dollarized, as soon as they have unshackled themselves to the SWIFT system and to the US dollar. They're going to invade Taiwan, and it's a critical situation and very volatile situation in Taiwan. And we need to be arming them and delivering the weapons that they have purchased. They bought them. They're good faith customers. They have been. They've been strong allies. Ukraine has never been a strong ally, and they haven't paid for anything. We shouldn't be delivering them $100 billion plus weapons free of charge on the American taxpayers' back.
You know, in the old days, we would rebuild the country by lending them money and telling them you have to spend the money in the United States. I think we did that to Germany, right? And they rebuilt Germany with all American steel, with all fucking our products, and then they owed us fucking money for the next 1,000 years. Why the fuck don't we own Ukraine right now?
Because the Washington bureaucrats are in bed with the globalists that just want an ultimate one world government and control. And you know what? Here, the harlot, the whore Zelensky is making deals with Xi Jinping already for Xi to come in there and do what you're talking about, rebuild after the war, and China will own Ukraine after all the money we spend there.
That's right. China will own them like we own Germany.
Yeah. Guys, does anybody have any thoughts? Rob, you have any thoughts?
No, I was exactly what I was going to say. All the money and China going over there talking to Putin and everything else. That's exactly what's going to end up happening. Is China's going to come in there and own it all, and we've just donated all that money to the Biden family China Trust.
Just like Afghanistan. All of the machinery and the weapons, and I get it. We were never going to bring those Humvees and those Buffaloes and those Cougar trucks. We were never going to bring those vehicles home. I get it, but we just left it. Thousands and thousands of vehicles, billions of dollars, just left it. And you know what? It'd have been fine if we could have gone in there and said, "Okay, now we want a deal. We're going to start extracting the natural resources." But no, China's going in there, and China's going to do it.
You know, I heard somebody say, he was very, very intelligent, this guy. It wasn't Rory. And they said that if we just took every fucking tank and did one thing to each tank, did one thing to each Jeep, did one thing to each rifle to fuck it up, just one thing, even if it was just break the bolt, whatever the fuck it was, they didn't have the resources to fix it all. And they would have been stuck with a mountain of shit that they couldn't afford to fix. And they had to dispose of it. We didn't even do that because you know why? Because our head general is all concerned about white privilege and how fucking transgenders fit in to fucking the U.S. military instead of fucking taking our back. He's a real fucking Palm Spring prick.
All that equipment's just sitting there in Afghanistan. I mean, those Afghans, all they do, they know how to milk a goat, but they don't know how to fix a Humvee. All that stuff just sitting there.
And every year that it breaks down is every year that they can't fucking fix it and it'll just rot.
They just leave it there. Hey, you know what? They ought to say, hey, here's the thing. Ukraine, you got all the Humvees you want. And I'm going to talk. Those things are fully armored. Those things are incredibly armored. You got all the Humvees you want. Go to Afghanistan and get them. All the big Cougar trucks and the Buffaloes, just go get them. Probably a few H-60 helicopters. They're yours. Go get them. You can have them.
Hey, you guys want to hear something really fucking insulting? Something really fucking disgusting? Okay, so Joe Biden came out and said transgender Americans shape our nation's soul. Oh. Transgender Americans shape our nation's soul. According to President Joe Biden, who made the assertion Thursday as part of a White House proclamation on Transgender Day of Visibility.
He's
the
right.
proclamation came mere days after a transgender shooter murdered 6 individuals at a Christian school. So a couple days after a fucking tranny, a chick with a fucking dick, goes after a bunch of innocent school children, he does it. He goes and pulls this shit. This is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever seen.
You know what? He's right. He's right. The transgenders are the fucking soul of this country because this country.
We need to put them in jail. We need to criminalize transgenders. We need to lock them away. We need to instill fear in them. We do not let them out until they change their ways. They either accept Jesus or they are not allowed back into society.
Well,
We
this
lock them up.
country.
No, we lock them up like China locks up the Muslims. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to really take these people and like seriously, like whole new level shit. Like being gay, if somebody wants to be gay and take it up the ass and suck dick, that's okay. That's their choice. Live your life. Don't advertise it though. But if you want to be a fucking tranny and you want to chop your genitals off, I mean, that's a mental health diagnosis. That's a whole psycho fucking thing in itself. And it needs to be dealt with in a locked away setting where they can't harm others, because the suicide rate in the transgender community is at nearly 50%. Nearly 50%. It's like 47%. And the medicine they take causes them to act violent, erratic, and I can honestly tell you with 100% certainty, going forward, there is going to be shooting after shooting committed by transgenders. It's going to be a pattern. It's going to be a copycat scenario.
Yeah,
So we
you
should
know
just
what?
take that.
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree with Biden more. It is the soul of this country, because this country has turned an evil fucking way of what they're doing. We've turned into pro-abortion, murdering children. We've turned into sodomizing and pedophilia, embracing it. So you know what? Yeah, the fucking transgender movement is the fucking soul of this fucking country, because we've turned evil. And unless we turn it around with some biblical principles, this is the soul of the country. And let me tell you, anytime a country turns this evil, there is a reckoning that comes. You just read the Old Testament. There will be a reckoning in this country that'll be unequaled, and it's because we embrace the evils that these fucking twisted, evil, transgender, and everybody else embrace. We're going to pay for it.
It didn't work out well for Sodom and Gomorrah.
Rory, there was an insurrection today at the Tennessee Capitol. Did you know that? All the
Yeah,
leftists-
and there was one at the Kentucky Capitol yesterday or the day before, and it was trannies today as well, right?
Yes, but you don't hear shit about that, right?
No.
No insurrection there.
No, these motherfuckers are dangerous. They are hostile. They are radical. And speaking of shamans, there's shaman trannies now. Have you seen that? No, there's a shaman tranny that was making headlines at Kentucky the other day. Yeah,
I did see that.
The pink fucking mask or whatever, the sodomite, the fruitcake. But listen, anyways, speaking of shaman, our boy Jacob Chensley is free. He is a free man. Thank God. Amen. USA, USA, USA.
I think he should run for Congress.
Hell yeah. Let's get him in there. Wear that outfit every day.
You know, Rory, what you said about the medication is very true. And you notice that anytime, I think there's been 5 to 10 trans mass shooters in the last couple of years. Not one time was what their medications are released.
Right.
Not one time.
Right.
That's why the manifesto has to
today.
come out. The FBI has the shooter's manifesto, and they're holding it real tight, just like Hunter's laptop.
Bunch of sick fucks.
Yeah, they were calling today for the toxicology report from the shooter. The toxicology report reportedly came back over the weekend, or no, I'm sorry, earlier this week, and they had and they were saying that, and then I don't know, one of them on Fox today was saying that no, we need to know what that toxicology report is. We need to know what's in it, just like the manifesto.
Do you have to file for a Freedom of Information Act just to get a hold of this shit? That's supposed to be public knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You notice that there's no public knowledge if you're fucking if the Speaker of the House's faggot husband is hooked up with some queer in a car or in the house, then there's no freedom. Then we suppress the footage. And all these fucking things that happen when it happens to them, it's suppressed. We can't let it out. We can't let the toxicology reports. But if any fucking thing happens to anybody else, it's on the fucking news tomorrow. This fucking thing keeps falling.
Leave Paul alone. He's just misunderstood.
He's a queer.
Oh my God!
Is there an earthquake happening in New York City? Where the fuck are you at?
I'm in FLA, baby, the land of freedom.
Where are you? You're in Florida. You're in
Florida?
You're in the Sunshine State.
Hey, I'll be doing a show April 22nd in New Jersey with Bill Spadia. He's going to be running. He's an ultra conservative. He's going to be running for the governor of Jersey.
Where?
In 2025.
Where's the event at? Where's the event?
Springfield, New Jersey, the Comedy Cove.
How far is that out of New York City?
It's about 30 minutes out of New York. It's in Springfield, New Jersey.
All right, I got to look it up.
Come on out, dress in your nicest skirt, and come on in, and we will fucking rock the house. And he's going to run. He's ultra conservative. He's got a new thing in Jersey saying, I forget what the movement is. It's like the common sense movement. And he speaks that. He's got a radio show. He'll never win because Jersey is full of fucking queers and liberal scumbags. But no one could tell me that Italian guy who just lost the governorship to Murphy didn't win. He fucking lost at 1 a.m. again. He was ahead, and he fucking lost at 1 a.m.
Well, it was Essex County. That's a big deal. Yeah, they remember they delayed it a couple of weeks. I believe he won also.
He fucking won. The elections have been rigged for years. If anything comes out of any of this reform, it's to have fucking free elections. If we could go to the bank and make sure that no one could get our bank account, anyone could get our bank account. It's a 4 fucking digit number. Why can't we have foolproof elections?
Okay. I was just
That's
looking
what
up
I-
Springfield.
No.
Greg, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You wanted to say something?
No, I'm just listening.
Matthew, you had a thought?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. I just looked up Springfield, New Jersey. It's only about an hour and 10 minutes from where I'm at. And as of tonight, this was my big announcement before the Trump thing fell. Today was my last day in my official capacity, the job I was doing. Tomorrow is my retirement. Having a big retirement party the company's throwing tomorrow night in Philly. If you guys happen to be in Philly, you're invited. No problem. Rory, fuel up the jet. Get your ass out here to Philly.
I'm coming.
Be a good time.
I'm coming over.
Everybody else
coming
too.
over. We're celebrating. We're gonna
I'm
have
too
a good
worried
time.
about climate change. I can't fly private.
Of
Sorry.
course, you're going to have to watch your back in Philly, of course. Make sure you're armed.
Why can't you fly private, man?
Because it's against the climate. It pollutes us, puts too much carbon
All right,
in
well,
the air.
fucking take Amtrak. But you got to get moving on it.
I take Amtrak, but then I got to go down to fucking Georgia and back over to Canada and then into Philly.
Yeah.
None of those are direct.
But congratulations. That's awesome, man. I mean,
Yeah, 36 years, man.
your retirement is finally here. Now you're going to dedicate, 5 days a week to the next gen
Absolutely.
USA?
I'm going to be at Trump's arraignment, and we'll do it live on the next gen. Seriously.
You're going to be doing your show 5 days a week on the network. I love
Yes,
it, man.
it'll be 5 days a week, and we're going to, like you talked about, we're going to do a lot more location stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be doing documentaries on the network. We're going to be doing independent films coming summertime. We have a lot planned.
Yes.
And that portal is going to be released this week, and I can't wait for everybody to see that. I mean, it's going to be unfrickin' believable. It's going to blow everybody's pants off.
Yeah, I hope. Listen. Good luck. God bless you for that, man. Because that's what we work for, to retire.
Fucking right. I'm still in my 50s, so I thought that was a good thing.
Well, you look like. Okay, so
The way this portal is built, it's the same exact layout as like YouTube and Rumble. I mean, we are the alternative for free speech, and it has all the same functionalities. It has all the same capabilities. It has all the same features. Anything you want to do, anything you do on YouTube or Rumble, you can do on this portal platform that I'm releasing. And it'll be all of us on there affiliated with the network, like hosts and stuff. But it'll also be open to the public who will have to pay. But they'll be vetted. Vetted strongly. I'm not just going to let trolls come and put a bunch of stupid shit. I mean, free speech is free speech, but no solicitor, no people, just yeah. So we have
Rory, the Twitter like function you were talking about, Rory, and have like a Twitter like function. Now, will that just be the people that are on the show, or will that
that'll
be
for everybody? That'll be part of the portal. That'll be kind of what'll be a little different about us than YouTube and Rumble is we'll have the social media component, and which is kind of like a mini Twitter, and we'll also shortly have our own broadcasting studio. So we won't be needing Restream anymore. So we'll be, so we pretty much NexGen Live, NexGen USA will have everything one-stop shop. So this is the real fucking deal. I've spent months building this, engineering this, putting this project together. It's finally come to fruition. We are ready to rock and roll, and the good times roll. It's fun.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question that I'd like to broach. All this is going on. The whole world's watching. Everybody's seeing what's going on. If you have a brain, you see that this country is going through the greatest turmoil that the country has ever seen. I'm curious to know what you guys think about Trump's son. Extremely intelligent, knows a lot of languages.
Which one?
Very privileged, Baron. Very privileged. Looking at this and seeing what's going on, what do you think down the road his way of life will be? What do you think he continues it? Do you think he spearheads it, or he backs out and says, "I don't want any part of this. Look what they did to my family"?
It looks like he's quiet, and look what. Remember Kelly?
What you're trying to kind of insinuate? You think Barron may run for president one day? Is that what you're?
I don't know. I think he goes one of two ways. Either he backs out and says, "Fuck this. They ruined my father's life. All he did was help people. All he did was try to be a great American, and they tried to fucking actually kill him. I'm out." Or does he go the other way and say, "I could do it. I've learned from how they got him. I'll put people around me, and I'll fucking get them back"?
But I don't think he's as charismatic and as tough and as outgoing as his father. He's more on the shy side, like his mother. I don't think he's the presidential type. I don't even think he'll get into politics.
He's a kid.
He'll be the tallest president.
No, but what is he? 17 now? 18,
right? He's like 6'8", 6'7", and he's what, 17?
Yeah, he's something.
Kid, maybe he's very intelligent, and maybe he's looking at this.
He doesn't really talk much. I mean, how do you know?
He might be like the Rain Man.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought he might have autism or something. I don't know. I mean, I've observed his antics and his behavior and his mannerisms, and there's something a little off. I mean,
he is kind of Rain Man-ish.
Yeah, kind of Rain Man-ish, kind of like the Dustin Hoffman character.
I think he's going to become the first training Trump.
Knows about 5 languages, and I think there's a chance that he sits back and says, "I see what they did to him. If I structure it this way with my father, with my uncles, and I could fucking get them at their own game." I think this kid, like I said, it could go either way. Either I back out, I just enjoy the billions. Well, who the fuck wouldn't want that? Or you go the other way and say, "I'll fucking get them, and I know exactly how to do it because I sat back and I learned now." Sometimes when you learn from that first wave, you come out a lot more intelligent about it.
Yeah, I think we got more problems and issues than wondering what Barron Trump is going to turn out to be if he turns out to be anything. Good luck if we even make it that long to where he's in a position where he can make a difference. But I will say, to change topics a little bit, in your state there, New York, the Assembly pushing for a $21.50 minimum wage, which, we know it's just living wage. It's $15.
Put the bottle down, motherfucker. That's like your fucking 12th drink, you fucking alcoholic Italian crazy stallion.
That's watered down. That's watered down.
You know what? Freddie, that's like eating a hot fudge sundae in front of a fat chick who's on a diet. You know, you got Rory here, and he's like he's sober and he's doing the right
Dude,
thing.
I
And
used to be
everyone's
like
drinking
Nicolas
bourbon.
Cage and leaving Las Vegas with my alcohol use. I got a year and a half sober, man, of no alcohol. It was probably the biggest thing, hardest thing I've ever had to do. I mean, that was a tough one.
But you're like the fat chick on a diet, and Freddie orders the hot fudge sundae.
It's fine. I'm just worried about the guy. I mean, I go on dates, women drink in front of me, that's fine. Friends drink in front of me, that's fine. It doesn't trigger me. I'm a strong-minded person, so I don't feel the need to drink. I don't feel the need to drink. I'm just worried about the guy because this is his 12th drink. But I can only imagine you wake up and the hangovers are probably like you got hit with a fucking baseball bat or got like gang banged by like 9 black dudes in like the back alley. You know what I mean? Like, shit, man. I can only imagine, bro.
All right, so back to the 2150. Back to the 2150. What do you think that's going to do to New York State?
All this criticism is making me thirsty.
It's making me want to drink.
How does Freddie respond to the gangbang in the back alley with the 9 black men?
Well, I think you're gayer than 8 guys blowing 9 guys, so I don't take what you say serious.
All right, dude. All righty.
Well, the problem with the show is we've got alcohol consumption, and sometimes we have pot smoking. So there's a problem there.
You know what? Marijuana supports the cartels.
No,
Maybe you should be smoking and drinking at the same time. How about that?
Yeah, why don't you get some pot, Freddie? Why don't you get some pot?
Rory,
What is that, your 13th whiskey?
Do you do any
lucky number 13? What?
Do you do gummies?
Edibles are okay. They're not, they're not.
We had a discussion about that, didn't we?
Yeah, I'd rather do flower. I'd rather smoke blunts. I smoke like 4 to 5 blunts a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't drink though, man. Like I said, I don't drink.
But he's sober.
Not good for you.
No, man. It's not good.
So recommend it. It's only for men.
I do miss it though, man. I do miss it sometimes. I do miss it.
Hey,
Being
listen,
Irish?
Everybody's got
Irish blood, the cravings. Yeah. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Everybody's got to do what's right for themselves. If that's not good for you, smoke your pot. You know, if you want to get banged by DeSantis, get banged by DeSantis.
You're the one who wants to get on your knees for DeSantis. You're praising him like he's fucking.
I love DeSantis. I fucking love that man.
Would you get on your knees for Trump?
No, I would not do any homosexual acts because sodomy is an abomination. No matter what anybody says. Listen, it's a heart and soul. It's a fucking abomination.
What if you're sticking it in your wife's ass?
That's a terrible thing to say.
Is that okay? Is that an exception?
Not okay. That's an abomination.
Okay, fair enough. So, in all ways, you are against sodomy in all forms.
Not in all forms.
Well, explain.
I'm not going to explain, but what I'm saying is that the abominations of this country is going to come home to roost one day.
The chickens are coming home to roost.
They're going to come home to roost. Is when the government condones the abominations that are in the Bible, the country will suffer. And there will be a reckoning that hopefully brings the country back. It could do one or two things: destroy the country or bring it back to where it began, one country under God. But if it doesn't, and they embrace the abomination by having the rainbow fucking flags in front of the White House and having drag shows in front of children, there will be a day of reckoning. And it's always happened throughout history. There's no reason to think it won't happen again. And not just in Palm Springs.
Not just in Palm Springs. Good point. It's It's a terrible epidemic. Merk, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I was talking about the ridiculous 21.50 an hour push, which is the Democrat.
Respond to Freddie real quick, though. I know you want to respond.
Well, no, I agree with, and I've said this a lot of times. But here's the thing about the LGBTQ, the alphabet gender community. They've never been interested in equality or peaceful coexistence, but only about fundamental change. Therefore, they want and demand forced compliance, forced participation. They want to fundamentally transform what the family unit is and means. They are really, it's an attack on the family, and it will not go unnoticed because God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. And our day of reckoning is indeed coming, just like it was in Sodom and Gomorrah. This is a lifestyle that is a choice, and it's not a genetic thing. It's not something that God created. This is the evil and the sin and the reprobate human heart, and we are allowing it and promoting it. But people had better wake up that these people, they're not interested, like all of the left, the progressive agendas. They're not interested in peaceful coexistence. We're seeing that. They're demanding that not only you accept them and you comply with their demands, but they're demanding that you participate in them. So drag queens that are going to read to your children, and you had better not say anything against it, and forcing the agenda on us and forcing it down our throat. This is really when you're beyond the pale in a country, when you're actually having the kind of dialogue that we have with children transgendering and 13-year-old, 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and puberty blockers, and all of this, when you're actually there, we had these light discussions 25 years ago, but now we're having the actual discussions of, at what age should we be mutilating our children? We are beyond the pale, and a day of reckoning will be coming.
Look at the NHL. The NHL players standing strong, saying, we're not going to wear all that LGBTQ shit on the ice. Now, you got to respect them for sticking to their beliefs. They're not going to be, like Greg says, it's bad enough. They want you to subscribe to the way they do things. And these NHL guys said, fuck you. We're not going to wear the shirts. We're not going to come on the ice. You got to respect them for that. And what's the
other guy saying, hey, Rory, you talk about putting them in jail. In Russia, they do. And these players that are Russian players, they cannot, and even by law, prohibited by law, to wear the flags and to put this stuff on their jersey. They could go home. They could go back to Russia and be arrested. And they're saying no.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And no, I love that the NHL players are pushing back. Rob Brown, your thoughts on everything we're talking about?
I'm just enjoying the conversation, but just like Greg said, our day of reckoning is coming. All we have to do is look back and look at what happened to Rome and all the other great civilizations through history. We can see it. I mean,
a lot of people got raped in Rome.
A
lot of people got raped in Rome.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of it was consensual.
Okay.
But you look back and under the last few emperors in particular, it was not only condoned, but it was promoted. I mean, it was
it was rampant.
It
was the one sin that unites every single world civilization, starting the earliest. We talk about the Assyrian, the Egyptian, the Babylonian, the Medo-Persian, the Greek, the Romans, all of them. But prior to their fall and their collapse and their implosion, you had rampant, widespread homosexuality. And we've taken homosexuality to a whole new level with this transgender alphabet gender mentality.
Yeah.
We've thrown out the intellectuals. That's what we've done. We've stopped listening to mental health experts that say that transgenderism is a mental illness. We stopped listening to them when they say, hey, a kid can't make up his own mind to have his fucking dick cut off. If the kid went into a tattoo parlor at 13 and said, tattoo fucking SWAT stickers and cocks on my face, guy will say, no, what are you, fucking crazy? If the kid went to a dentist and said, pull all my fucking teeth out, the dentist will say, no, what are you, fucking crazy? But he can walk into a hospital and say, chop my dick off, and they'll say yes. So this is what we're up against. If you did to a fucking dog what people do to their children, you would be put in jail. If you brought your dog into a fucking doctor's office every 6 or 7 months and said, my dog's pregnant, abort all the fucking babies for the dog's health, the vet would say, what are you, out of your fucking mind? What are you doing this to your dog for? But you could fucking do that as a 16-year-old, you could bring your kid, abort the baby, abort the baby, abort the baby. That's not fucking health. We got rid of all the sciences. We got rid of all the biology. We got rid of all mental health sciences. We got rid of all the sciences to conform to this fucking twisted abomination. And now we're teaching it to kids in college. Fucking misinformation.
We didn't stop listening to the mental health. These are the mental health professionals. We've just transformed. We stopped listening to the God of the Bible. We stopped listening to the only moral lawgiver that could ever be known to man. We stopped listening to the truth, and God is the only God is the author of truth. So these are actually coming from the mental health professionals and the medical. They're the ones that are condoning this. We've got, I don't know, 60, 80, 100 mental health diseases now. Things we call disease. 50 years ago, we had a handful of them. And now we've got dozens and dozens. Everything is a disease because the mental health professional says and calls everything. Obesity is a disease. No, it is not a disease. It is a lack of discipline. And when you eat like that that's what you're going to turn into a big lard ass. It's not a disease. It's a problem in the mind and your lack of discipline and really in the heart, because this is what happens when you strip God out of society and you say you're not made in the image of God. You're made in the image of a monkey or an ape or some other evolutionary process. And all of these things, when your heart is void of God, there's a vacuum and you become your God is your belly, whatever feels good, whatever tastes good, whatever seems good, and you go after that. This is not a mental health professional that we're not listening to, or science. They've redefined all that, and they've capitulated to this soulless, godless society that we have, all about a fundamental transformation. And that's what happens when you say, we don't want you, God, anymore. We don't need you.
When was the last time you seen CNN or any major news organization have the top 5 psychiatrists in the world on talking about mental illness when it comes to children and not knowing if they're transgender, if they're binary, if they're this or if they're that? They are suppressed. Just like during COVID, the head heart doctors, head lung doctors was suppressed.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying that there are not the people that have a brain that functions in science and mental health professions. Back in the early 70s, homosexuality was considered a mental illness. It's no longer in the American Psychology Association. It's no longer a mental illness. But my point is as in large, in the macro picture of science and mental health professionals, this is all just acceptable. They've redefined what is a disease and what is not a disease, what is mental illness and what is not mental illness. So my point is that it's not that we stop listening to these people. This is what happens when you strip God out of society. You create a vacuum of everything else. When you replace truth with imagination and fantasy replaces reality, you get the kind of social chaos that we have right now. And until we get back to the basics, the fundamentals, our Christian heritage and foundation, then this chaos will continue to run amok.
So are you saying that, like, in the greatest institutions in this country right now, they are teaching no longer that it's mental illness, that you think you're one of 18 genders? Are they not teaching? I don't know. Are they not teaching anymore that it's mental illness? Are they teaching that it's a normal thing?
100%. Yeah, every major institution in America,
crazy.
Every major education, I don't care, go to Georgetown, Harvard, Stanford, you go all over the country. You're not going to find one major university that is going to say that the whole transgender phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, and homosexuality, you will not find one of them that is going to say this is a mental illness anymore. That shipped on left 50 years ago.
My God.
Even though study after study, Greg, shows that the highest incidence of mental illness is among liberal Democrats or white females. They have the highest rate of mental illness. I mean, it's obvious. It's very obvious. Look at all the Karens screaming at you when you didn't have your fucking mask on. Okay, conservatives are much more focused and grounded. We don't have those issues. We don't let our mind wander in all different directions.
Well, but listen,
guys, we need to move on. Guys, we need to move on. Greg? What did you want to say, Greg?
No, I just wanted to say most conservatives are people of faith, and we don't have this vacuum. That's why, MJ. People of faith, we're grounded and rooted. We know that truth is not ours to author, but to discover. That God is the author of truth. We just discover it and disseminate it.
Guys, I want to mention this breaking report today. U.S. citizens residing or traveling in Russia should depart immediately. The White
You
House
think?
said. I want to know what everybody thinks about that. The White House said that today. Go ahead. Matthew, you want to start? Go ahead.
Yeah, I did see that also, Rory. For Americans League, now usually that's a prelude to some type of.
No, it's on every outlet now.
They just arrested the journalist.
It's usually something you want to do because you think something's imminent or war or whatever. But somebody else tweeted back to me today and said that this warning for Americans to get out of Russia has actually been issued almost on a monthly basis. I haven't seen that. I did see the one today where it said all Americans get out of Russia. One wonders, are things much, much worse than we are being told about? And is some type of war, maybe even a ground war or some kind of escalation, is it imminent, but the Biden regime really doesn't give a shit in notifying the American public about it?
Never mind the nuclear war. Donald Trump is indicted.
Yeah.
Well, they arrested
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I was just gonna say I heard they arrested a Wall Street Journal reporter today on espionage charges in Russia, so that may be why.
Yeah, they dragged him out of a coffee shop.
If you're a U.S. citizen and you're in Russia, you're an idiot.
Go ahead, Fred.
New York television has had a commercial on at least a few times. I've seen it twice, where they tell you what to do in a nuclear attack. This has been on for the last month. That fucking scared the shit out of me.
It's on subway buses in New York City. I think they talk about it on subway buses, advertisements.
Did anybody see the report today that the U.S. government is considering asking Black Americans on federal forms, including the census, whether their ancestors were enslaved?
I saw it. Outrageous. Laying the groundwork.
They're going to get $300 million in
reparations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a tan tomorrow.
I'm going blackface, baby. I'm going as dark as motherfucking possible. I'm changing I'm going transracial. I'm changing it all, baby. I'm getting my reparations, motherfucker.
But why do you got to go transracial? Why can't you just
actually, I don't even. If we go back and look at history, white, Irish, Catholic.
Hey, man, Irish were indentured servants.
For a long time. Go ahead.
Irish were indentured servants side by side with blacks.
We got to get paid. We got to get paid then, Rory.
Money, bitch. Get me paid.
Largest lynching in the United States, Italians in Louisiana.
We gotta get to the Tonys paid. We gotta get all the Tonys paid.
Pay me, bitch. Pay
the Tony and the Rockies. We gotta get them all paid, man.
But we all know this is all part of the progressive template that I say blank's never about blank. It's always about fundamental change, redistribution of wealth and control. This is not about injustice. This is not about paying for the sins of our forefathers. This is about a massive, massive ideological redistribution of wealth. Welcome to the radical left and the progressive movement.
If the corporations, Greg, are giving billions to BLM during their peak of rioting, looting, why don't they corporations pay all the reparations instead of the taxpayer doing it?
Well, because their donations to BLM and all those groups was just a free get out of jail free card, and that's all that was about. They're just kind of paying for their freedom. Don't put us in purgatory. Let us out of purgatory, because if you turn them down, it's the Jesse Jackson and the Al Sharpton extortion. They go in there and it's a shakedown. It's nothing more than a modern day shakedown, and they foolishly capitulated.
5 million. I'm buying stock.
You see the guy last night in San Francisco, one of the activists said that 5 million wasn't enough. That by the time the IRS took half, they would spread it over, I think he said 50 years, 100,000 a year. And by the time the IRS got it, it was only 40,000 a year. So 5 million is not enough.
A bunch of Gucci belts, a bunch of Louis Vuitton wallets, a bunch of Jordan sneakers, a bunch of Escalade,
when it comes to the
mansions, a bunch of grills,
when it comes to
limited amounts of fried chicken. You
It's
know,
never
the
enough.
most expensive type of Hennessy and Grey Goose. I mean, you got to, you know, all the jewelry, the bling. You know, you got to get the cars. Got to get the cars. Got to get
What
the
about
jet.
the Cavassier?
Got to get the man. You know, got to get it all. Got to get the house. You know, they're gonna pay for it all. Go ahead, and then they'll be broke very soon. But
I'm bailing out, my friend.
We got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. Stay with us. We got 5. You gotta go.
I gotta
signals
go. Thank you so much. Love you guys, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow.
All right. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Find me at your sister's house or fredrabin.com.
And when are you doing your show again on the Next Gen USA?
The Next Gen USA, I'll probably be doing Monday.
Oh, you're doing your show Monday on here?
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, bad woman.
Bitches.
See you, buddy. But yeah, guys, we got about 5 minutes left. We're about to close out. But yeah, where were we?
Reparations? I don't know.
Yeah, reparations. Yeah.
Yeah. Wealth transfer. That's all it is. It's never enough. You know, you look at the first bailout, the trillion. It wasn't enough. So it was a 3.8 trillion. It's never enough. You just don't do it. You know, they talk about this socialist utopia that they're trying to create. And every time they say the reason why it doesn't work because we just didn't spend enough. Listen. It will never be enough. It's kind of like John D. Rockefeller. How much is enough? $1 more. He said there's always going to be a need for more money. But you know what? The reality is you're never going to get rid of poverty. Poor people, you will always have with you. It's just the nature of sinful, fallen mankind. The best you can do is empower people with the freedom to be able to achieve their destiny, and just let us forge our own path forward, because the federal government is not going to get rid of poverty. We've been trying it for 100 years. It's never going to work. It's asinine. But again, it's not about getting rid of poverty. It's about controlling people and redistributing wealth.
And final, Matthew, you wanted to say something real quick?
Yeah, where's in San Francisco, where's the budget director at these hearings? Where's somebody with a little bit of sanity that says, wait a minute, where are we getting the money for this again? It sounds nice. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's all I wanted to say about that.
And final thing before we go, there was a report that just came in. NYPD tells every member to show up in uniform Friday morning after Trump indictment.
Well, they thought he was coming in. Like I said about a half hour ago, they
think they're going to be protests. They think they're going to burn the city down.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Well, we might. I mean,
well, Antifa will be there. I can tell you that, and BLM is stirring up the riots so that they can blame Trump. Even if MAGA people don't show up, I won't be surprised if they're there.
Greg, picture Trump coming down into the courtroom with a whole parade of Secret Service agents. I mean, the optics alone should people in their right minds should say the Democrats are scumbags. They're destabilizing the country. Just to have those optics where you have the Secret Service walking side by side with him, and he may not be in cuffs, but the whole situation is surreal.
These people don't care about our country. They only care about themselves, their penchant for power, and it's really an unquenchable thirst. So they don't care about the country.
No. And how soon do you think they'll bring the charges from the DOJ and from the Georgia situation? I mean, do you think they're going to wait to see if the New York scenario sticks, or do you think they'll just try to bring it all and rush it? What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to drag it on like a death of 1,000 cuts. Let's see where this one goes and then get another one. I mean, who knows? It's kind of like an evil person is unpredictable, and this is an evil movement, and I don't think anybody can predict it because they're so driven by their emotions. It's like a crazy person who's bipolar. You just don't know if they're going to be up or they're going to be down. You can never predict how they're going to act because they're just crazy. They're nuts. And the Democrat Party is just like that. They're you cannot predict what they're going to do. All you can do is expect the worst, because then you can only be pleasantly surprised if they don't.
Matthew, go ahead.
I think they're going to see how this plays out. And as I said, I don't want to see any type of trouble or anything, but I think the Democratic Party and the deep state and the media is banking on something happening. They're banking on that, and the next thing, the Atlanta trials and the J6 possible insurrection charges, they're putting that in the back because I think they can incite people with having Trump strolling out to the courthouse. It's a terrible thing. They don't give a shit about the stability of the nation.
Yeah, Rob Brown.
I was just going to say, I think you guys are right that Antifa will be there, but at least they'll be wearing MAGA hats, so that makes it all legit.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Rob, tell everybody where they can find you.
R. Brown at C-Suite for Christ, Arizona. And like I said, soon to be the Christian Business Alliance, man. That will be I just talked to the guys last week. Website will be up and running within a couple of weeks, and working diligently to make sure that we, one, bring Jesus back into the lips and to our lips and our mouth in the workplace, and two is to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Just to be very intentional about doing business together as Christian professionals.
And you're going to be starting your show again here on the network soon, right?
I will. The show will be all part of that too.
Awesome. Matthew
We'll
J.
be talking about that every week.
Perfect. Matthew J. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, first things first, as of tomorrow afternoon and evening, I will be a man of leisure, free time. You can find me on TheNexGenUSA.com and also on Twitter.
Greg Merk, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm the host of Minutes with Merk, Merging Culture, Politics, and Faith here on the Next Gen USA, and always an excited host to be here on the Next Gen Live.
Absolutely. We will see everybody tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, I'm Rory Sauter. God bless. Much love.